Okay, we discussed that and more with NAPOLCOM Chief Rafael Calinisan. Sir, Attorney Calinisan, thank you for joining us.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you.
Mabuhay.
Interesting case itong kay Fontillas. But let me start off with this muna. Well, at least the report said that he refused to undergo a neuropsychiatric exam kasi sabi raw niya he's been taking it over and over again. How does that work? Are they required, and how often are they required to take that exam?
On paper, they should, or all policemen, especially the frontliners, must take a neuro exam every year.
Every year.
To check the mental fitness of the policeman. Pero in this case, medyo special case tong si Fontillas. The reason why he was asked to take it again, there was a letter request from his superior in February that there appears to be erratic behavior from Fontillas. So that's why the QCPD Health Service wrote the regional office asking for a more comprehensive exam for Fontillas, which Fontillas refuses to take. So here we are, after that quote-unquote request. He was triggered by an incident of an arrest by a former president, and he has been constantly posting seditious content in his social media page.
Okay, so this new exam that he was supposed to take is outside of the regular yearly
Yes,
exam.
it's outside.
It was supposed to be more detailed and more comprehensive.
Yes, correct. So, if I may, even as early as 2023, in July, I didn't want to touch on this, but the facts necessitate this. In July, he was already consulting a medical professional here in the Philippine National Police, and he has been constantly having consultations. So for the span of 4 months, his firearm was removed from him as he was not deemed to be fit to work. But in October 2023, he was adjudged fit.
Okay.
So he was given his firearm back and was given his daily tasks. From October 2023 until February, he didn't do his consultations, and something happened in February which triggered his superior to write the health service.
Well, sir, kasi several issues here that we can and we should talk about. Among them, of course, number one, yung mga violations, yung mga alleged violations niya. You're looking at sedition is one case, and there's also his behavior, which is an administrative case as well. And then also, yung paraan ng pulisya, ng NAPOLCOM, for example, ng pagre-recruit at pag-i-screen ng mga pulis. So we'll try to go through all of that. Kasi in the end, these are the people in the neighborhood. Sabi nga sa Sesame Street, the people in the neighborhood that we meet every day. And so it's also important that we get to meet the right people every day. Okay, sir. Let me start off with that. And of course, there are also limitations as to what we can talk about kasi some of them are, I suppose, are medical and private. So I leave it to you to decide lang which we can talk about. But for example, how exactly are policemen screened dun sa pagdating sa hindi lang sa medical as well dun sa intentions, motives, and their sense of duty. It's the NAPOLCOM, di ba, that administers the exam for police entrance, if I got it right.
For the exam, but note that the psychological exam it is conducted by the Philippine National Police. So in this case, in Fontillas' case, the regional office, which is the NCRPO, who has a quota for the recruitment of policemen in 2021, were the ones who conducted the neuropsychological exam on Fontillas. The actual exam, like the aptitude, was conducted by the National Police Commission. So when all of them, when Fontillas passed, he was given the green light and he was allowed to enter the Philippine National Police in 2021. Which actually makes me question, kung 2021, bagong police tong si Fontillas and by 2023, there are some issues already detected. Bakit hindi siya nakita noong 2021? So I actually ordered that I get to receive the whole recruitment documents of Fontillas, particularly the medical records and the neuropsychological exam. I already received a one-pager, which obviously I'm not content with. So I'm asking for the whole set because I want to see gaano ba ka-in-depth talagang psychological exam. Kasi kailangan nating silipin at isipin na there are these are policemen, they are wearing uniforms, badges, and guns, and dapat yung recruitment process must be comprehensive, particularly the neuropsychiatric portion.
Because these are people that we pay to protect us
Yes.
with firearms that we bought for them.
Yes, correct.
But again, I'll have to leave this to you kasi of course there are things that we may not be allowed to go into. But how comprehensive ba yung pagtetest sa mga ito? Whether it's psychological or physical or technical, how comprehensive are the tests?
Correct. These are things I cannot really discuss in depth. Pero quite honestly, being 3 months in, I'm not quite satisfied with how it's still being conducted. Maybe it's time for a review of the process by which the PNP recruit is brought into the fold. So, silipin natin how the psychological exam is really conducted. Talaga bang dibdiba ng examination dyan o medyo light lang? Because
Baka parang lisensya ng...
no, I cannot comment on another office. But what I'm saying is, people put our trust in the PNP. And dapat talaga buong-buong tiwala natin sa kanila. And the only way to also do that is to make sure that everyone is fit and competent to be wearing the uniform.
Ewan ko ngayon pero nung panahon, nandun yung panahon ko. A couple of decades ago, there was a lot of talk na mga police quota ay nabibili lamang.
Yes.
I don't know how prevalent that was then and if it still is a problem now. That, because in the end, siyempre, ang posisyon sa PNP, permanente yan unless you screw up.
Yes,
permanente yan, so meron kang, you have a stable job, you have a firearm, you have authority over ordinary people, and of course, in the end, you have pension. So it's a good way to, it's a good living.
Yes,
in other words. So there was a lot of talk from before pa na nabebenta ang quota. I don't know if that really was a real problem, if it's still a problem now.
If you don't remember, both my parents were policemen. And in the dinner table, naririnig ko yung problemang yan. So that was a long time ago. I'll be lying to you if I say that there are no reports that has come in, that there's still that issue. But I can safely say that I think the recruitment process of the PNP is we call this sacred. And yung mga recruits naman ng PNP ay maayos at the process is okay. But now, we really have to double, triple check kasi may mga ganitong isolated instances na kailangan nating pagtuunan ng pansin. And hindi rin biro kahit in this case, isang tao lang single-handedly nasisira ang reputasyon ng Philippine National Police. Itong tao pang ito, wala pa sa tamang pag-iisip. So, nakakagulat, nakakabother. So, it necessitates another review, a more comprehensive review of our recruitment process.
Well, to be fair, hindi na naman police yung nababalitan ganun dati. Pati yung actually lahat ng uniform services, pati yung sa Philippine military, may reports sa ganung quota. But anyway, okay, let's zoom in dun sa kaso nito na itong pinagagawa ni Fontillas. He's been so vocal online. Actually, he's pushing back.
Oo nga, nakatawa
he's not apologetic, he's angry, and he's daring the PNP to go after him.
Yes.
That's unusual? Or is it?
It's very unusual. Yun na nga yun Kaya nga part ng mga kaso na final ng NAPOLCOM sa kanya kahapon were grave misconduct and conduct unbecoming of a police officer. My question to you, Ed, ito bang galawan ng ganitong pulis, yung paghahamon sa yung PNP chief, paghahamon sa presidente, galawan ba to ng isang normal na pulis? I don't think so. Fontillas is not a reflection of the 225,000 strong Philippine National Police, men and women. So this is an isolated incident. Talagang may konting sakit lang talaga tong si Fontillas. I'm very careful to hit hard because he's not mentally...
There are other issues
there are other issues
on the table.
Yes, but we have to be fair also. Kasi nadadrag yung PNP institution ng isang taong may sakit. So, naawa ko sa PNP institution, hindi naman ganito yung all the rest of them isa lang to na who has no grasp of reason right now and who needs not just a whip but a medical professional for him to get back to his senses. So the QCPD has ordered that he report back to the camp. The NAPOLCOM is ordering him to report to the QCPD and face his charges. Kinasukan namin siya, matapang siya, di ba? Kung matapang talaga siya, harapin niya yung mga kaso niya, both the criminal cases filed by the QCPD and the cases that we have filed in National Police Commission.
Pero sir, the fact that he got here this far and the fact that he was able to stay here for so long, I mean 2 years, or 3 years actually, is also an indictment of the system where somebody like him is able to get in and to be uniformed and to get armed.
Correct. Again, I will be lying if that's not the case. That is absolutely true. That's why we need to revisit. I'm 3 months in, Ed.
Yes, sir.
I have still 6 years to go, fixed term. Hayaan mo, we will look into these matters more closely. Hisilipin natin na mas maayos, mas malalim, para yung tiwala ng tao sa ating pulis laging nandoon. Hindi kasi pwedeng makalusot ang mga ganito Yung isolated incidents na tinatawag, hindi po pwedeng lagi nilang isolated incidents So, kailangan talaga we put a stop to it. Definitively.
Okay, sir, ito naman. Paano paghihimay ng NAPOLCOM dito? Siyempre, everybody has rights. People have rights, even policemen have rights, of course. Some would say the right to express themselves, the freedom of expression. Until where does it go and where does it stop? As far as policemen are concerned.
Yes. Policemen do not lose their right to self-expression. Nasa Philippine Constitution yan. However, these rights have limits. Ika nga, you cannot abuse your rights. First and foremost, we are government employees. And more importantly, we are in the uniformed service. So, we bow down to what is best to the greater majority. Hindi po pwede yung sasabihin mo lang yung gusto mo dahil gusto mo lang. Abusing your right and to the detriment of the rights of others. So, we have to be more circumspect. Itong karapatan ko, kung isipin mo na lang, Ed, kunwari, lahat ng police, 225,000, may sarili-sariling political opinion at lahat sila very vocal, there will be a breakdown in discipline. And that is integral in the uniform service.
Chain of command.
Chain of command, hierarchy, isang kumpas. Hindi po pwedeng lahat siga. So, everyone follows orders, lawful orders. But, hindi naman nawawala yung right to self-expression mo yung freedom of expression mo. You can do that in private gatherings maybe, but not in social media. And more importantly, meron na tayong rules in place. There are the rules on personal decorum, code of ethics, 2 memorandum circulars on social media. Very clear doon na bawal na mag-post ng political content sa ating social media pages. Wala pa tayo doon sa civil service rules, wala pa tayo doon sa obvious limitations of the uniform. But of course, we should take it as a whole, hindi lang yung we take portions of the law and just say that's it.
It's all contextualized.
Yes, correct.
Pero sir, you're a lawyer.
Yes.
How do you define political content? As for example, in the case of the PNP, bawal ang political content sa social media. Some may argue na mga pilosopo, but everything is political in this country. Di ba?
Yeah, correct.
Paano yung paghihimay ninyo?
Totoo na wala naman talaga exactong definition na political content is like this, like that. But you have to use your own discernment. Klaro naman siguro sa atin, using our common sense, what is political content and what is neutral.
Kunwari, kung kaharap po mga naka-assemble ng mga police, you have 225,000 policemen in front of you, at sinabi sa iyo, sir, paliwanag mo sa kanila kung anong bawal at hindi in terms of political content. How would you tell them?
I will not mandate what is right and what is wrong because that is prior restraint. It is also in the Constitution na you should not tell them na ito yan ito yung... But we have to realize that they're all adults. We know we're all professionals. We are given a set of laws, given a set of rules. It is clear that no political content. And in fact, in February, I gave a directive that there should be no political content for all the policemen. Klaro naman everyone's following. So hindi naman natin kailangan sabihin na political content is defined as A, B, C, D. We don't need to do that. They're all adults, they understand, they're intelligent, that's why they're policemen. So I trust them, we trust each other, para magkapatid ang relasyon ng National Police Commission at ng Philippine National Police. At dapat pagkatiwalaan talaga ng tao yung PNP, and the NAPOLCOM's job is to make sure that that happens.
Well, sir, I understand naman. Of course, it's hard to pin it all down in black and white.
Yes.
But at the same time, you'd also want to have some broad strokes.
Correct.
Kasi in the end, mamaya may mga magtuturan na parang, hindi naman yung nilinaw kung ano yung sabihin ng bawal at hindi. Wala namang ganung patakaran. But wait naman, I mean, for example, among journalists, although it's always talked about, but there's no real hard and fast rule as to how you express yourself, for example, on social media. As much as possible, we're supposed to show. I mean, actually, to be honest about it, even the issue of objectivity among reporters is as well been debated on over and over again. Who is objective ba? The most objective person in the world is the stenographer, because all he does is write everything that happens.
Correct.
But that's not what reporters do. Reporters have to weed through all the weeds and look for the biggest story, most important story, and that's what you put in the first paragraph.
Yes.
That's editorializing.
Correct.
But that's editorial judgment. That's what reporters do. So may ganun kami, but it's not really, it's not really a hard and fast rule. I mean, it's not really in black and white. But we do talk about it. Pero kayo, what do you think? I mean, I'm trying to look for a way for people and for policemen as well to understand kung saan ang limitasyon ng political content. Kasi it's been bedeviling us for the past 8 years already.
I understand.
Especially in the last administration.
Let me.
I'll go into that later. Pero you know what I mean. Could you contextualize it some more? Anong red line, kumbaga? Maybe the gray line is mahirap i-define, pero anong red line?
Sige, let me rephrase my answer this way. We will review our social media policies and rules. That's one. Pero two, siguro naman, klaro-klaro na kapag nagpapahayag ka na vote this person.
Yun, di ba?
Kaya don't vote for that. O sisiraan mo yung particular person na to, pupurihin mo yung isa to put
Example,
down
when
the
you
other
campaign for or against a person or a
That
party.
is clearly campaigning or political content. Yung all the rest, you really have to exercise your judgment. And totoo, Ed, while you're pressing me for parang a criteria, parang I'm still inclined, though we will review, we're still inclined to respect the moral judgment and moral compass of the policeman. Kasi tiwala talaga yun alam naman natin kung ano yung political content at ano yung hindi. But yung respeto lang also in their rights, in their right to self-expression, and yung the right to regulate and control and supervise over these policemen. May sensitive balance yan. Hindi naman porket nandito tayo sa National Police Commission, we impose everything on them. We really have to.
They're not children.
They're not children. In the same way na parang pag may girlfriend ka, may anak ka, hindi mo sasabihin na ito ang mga bawal, A, B, C, D, E. You really have to trust people in...
Maraming ganun, ABCD.
Depende na yan siguro. But I know you understand what I'm trying to say. But the long and short of it, Ed, we're gonna review the social media policies.
Okay.
And we'll get back to you if there's a need to update these social media policies. Kung di pa clear, kaklaruhin pa natin lalo.
Ang sinampan ng pulisya o NAPOLCOM dun sa
Grave misconduct?
Grave misconduct.
Yes.
Grave misconduct. Actually, that's pretty generic enough naman that it covers a lot of things.
Yes.
So it's pretty broad enough.
Yes.
So covered yan. Yung final naman ng was it also the PNP that filed sedition charges against him?
So it's the QCPD,
QCPD.
which filed the criminal charges against Fontillas. Ito yung inciting to sedition. Si National Police Commission, yun yung nag-file kahapon ng grave misconduct and conduct unbecoming of a police officer. So yung grave misconduct stems from the inciting to sedition charge. Kasi part ng grave misconduct, if you're committing a crime dun sa as defined by the revised penal code, shoot ka sa grave misconduct. Dun sa Kupo, dun sa mental block na ako sa Kupo, kung hindi ka refleksyon ng tamang pulis, that is where the other administrative charge lies. So we charged them with both, and it's now ongoing. The validation report was already filed yesterday, and the admin charges are now ongoing.
Okay. Commissioner Carlinisan, we'll just go into a short break. Don't go away. More matters to discuss after this break. Keep it here in One News. Welcome back. You're still watching Morning Matters here on One News. Sir, back to our discussion. Okay, we're talking about partisan political activities in the uniformed services, particularly the PNP. Pero let me also ask you about this kasi we're coming from an administration, I'm talking about the previous administration, where mas matingkad at mas obvious at mas out there yung I suppose I'd put it this way, signs of partisanship among the uniformed services.
Right.
I say that kasi sa social media, for example, nung nakarang administrasyon, we saw a deluge of images of generals and superintendents, patrolmen and private first class, and in between, na nag-fist bump. Especially when the president's there. And even when the president's not there, they post on social media, nakaganon sila. I bring that up kasi in other countries, things like that, pinagbabawal eh. For example, in the first term of President Trump, may isang grupo ng mga sundalo naglabas ng MAGA flag. Pinagbawal yun. Make America Great Again. Pinagbawal because naka-uniforme sila and they were flying the MAGA flag on their service vehicle.
Yes.
So may ganun, but it nakalusot yun for 6 years, and even the big bosses were doing it. I'm wondering what your thoughts are about that, because that's also where we're coming from, and that may have affected or colored how we look at things now.
Let's put it this way: we're under new management. The president has not and will never politicize the Philippine National Police or the Armed Forces of the Philippines. Alam natin na these institutions are apolitical. I'm very happy to say that I've never seen any policeman or even any soldier engage in any partisan political activity. Happy ako. Yung mga fist bump, yung mga, and all the permutations of that, never ko pa nakita in Metro Manila or in the field. And I'm quite happy to let you know that with all confidence, walang politika ngayon sa PNP-ED, and the National Police Commission will ensure that remains the same. Kung nangyari man yan noon, it's a sad part in our history, but I'm happy right now that politics is for politicians and law enforcement is for law enforcers, and it will remain that way. And we should protect institutions always.
Well, I know this predates your term. This was several years ago. Pero I'm wondering if there's anything about those occurrences or those incidents that I should understand, or that would contextualize how I should look at that. Is there any way that could be explained of as being acceptable in a democracy? I mean, is it, for example, katanggap-tanggap pa kasi considering na siya naman ang boss namin siya naman yung presidente. Is there any other way of looking at it, or am I just being a Taliban?
Hindi naman. Totoo niyan. When you mentioned it a while ago, my mind was wandering. I'm on the fence. Kasi I'm really of the position that there should be no tinge of any political gimmickry in the law enforcement sector. The only way that could be justified, yung sinasabi mo is, syempre happy sila na dinalaw sila ng presidente. Di ba? O kaya ecstatic sila. Baka hindi pa sila nadadalaw ever. So, maybe it's a sign of happiness. That's it. And he's the duly constituted authority then. that makes a semblance of an explanation. But in the real sense of the word, Ed, uulitin ko at paulit-ulit natin sasabihin, no politics for law enforcers. Bawal mamolitika ang pulis. So kung isipin mo, ang pulis, forever yan eh. In fact, bago naging PNP, naging PCINP yan, bago yan, MISG, Metrocom,
Philippine Scouts.
whatever. It predates everyone from 1940 until we all
we're
die.
talking about institutions here. Institutions.
So dapat the institutions should always be protected, bereft of any political color, bereft of any political gimmickry, and they should be independent para magtiwala ang kahit na sinong mamamayan, kung ano man ng kulay niya, green man, blue man yan, red man yan, pink man yan, we should always accept and serve the whole Filipino people regardless of color and beliefs.
Because the institution is supposed to stay.
Correct.
While administrations come and go.
Yes, correct. That is absolutely correct.
But it's easy for people to forget that.
Yun na nga. Pero we're here. I'm very happy that the President brought us to this place. I'm very happy that the President is very, very professional. I'm very thankful. Walang halong politika ako nakikita sa kahit anong pamamalakad sa PNP or sa National Police Commission. And I'm very thankful.
Okay. Maraming salamat, sir, for joining us this morning. Anything you'd like to add?
Huwag kayong mag-alala to the Philippine National Police. Don't worry, tiwalang-tiwala tayong lahat sa kakayanan ninyo. This is an isolated incident kay Fontillas. Huwag lang tayong mamulitika. And to the Filipino people, your Philippine National Police will serve and protect you. Magtiwala lang po kayo sa amin.
Remember, elections in a month and a half. What message do you want to deliver to not just the public, but to the police force? 225,000 strong.
Just do our jobs like we do every day. Magdasal kayo, magtrabaho lang tayo na maayos at everything will fall into place.
Okay. Maraming salamat, NAPOLCOM Commissioner Attorney Rafael Calinisan. Sir, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thanks so much.
It's good to have you today.